In the rarest form of bipartisanship, the Senate Thursday unanimously passed the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, joining the House's earlier unanimous vote. President Biden now expected to sign it into law. The bill prohibits the importation of goods manufactured in the Uyghur region of Xinjiang province in western China, the traditional homeland of millions of ethnic minority Uyghurs who have been compelled into forced labor and corralled into fenced-in communities that some call concentration camps.
And if you're a company who is manufacturing in that area, you're going to need to prove that slaves didn't make it. The presumption's on you. It's already illegal, by the way, to bring goods made with slave labor. It's been that way since the 1930s, and yet it's still happening. And we know it's happening at an alarming, horrific rate with the genocide that we now witness being carried out by the Chinese government in the Xinjiang region.
The Chinese government mostly blocks Western exposure to this region and provides the world state media propaganda of life there.
The Muslim Uyghurs are portrayed as prospering, living free lives. No mention of the harsh lockdown during COVID-19. But distressing recent videos Uyghurs themselves have posted tell a different story. This desperate man says he and his wife and children are starving. Uyghurs were barely allowed to leave their homes during the COVID-19 lockdown. A Chinese woman tells this Uyghur man to get back inside. What do we do when we're hungry, he says. Eat the building?
For months, the Biden administration resisted the new bill. The political implications of it were potentially damaging, not only because of the friction it would certainly cause with the communist government, but it may mean further supply chain disruptions. In 2020, analysts labeled more than 80 companies whose goods were produced in the Xinjiang region. Some have since moved manufacturing or taken steps to minimize the use of forced labor. But more importantly, the Biden administration may have seen the bill as an impediment to its transition to clean energy. As the Examiner reported Thursday, the solar supply chain is deeply embedded in Xinjiang and China broadly, where government subsidies have helped decimate U.S. panel manufacturing despite Trump-era tariffs. It noted that an aide to John Kerry, the administration's clean energy czar, told lawmakers the U.S. needs 5 to 10 years to move the global supply chain out of Xinjiang. Yet, given Congress's total unanimity, the White House is now on board. Press Secretary Jen Psaki said in a statement, the president welcomes the agreement by Congress on the bipartisan Uyghur Forced Labor Protection Act. We agree with Congress that action must be taken to hold the People's Republic of China accountable for genocide and human rights abuses and to address forced labor in Xinjiang. But it is doubtful the bill will force China to come totally clean. Uyghurs are now being sent from Xinjiang to the country's eastern industrial cities.
This propaganda video from February says 179 migrant workers are leaving Xinjiang for Fujian in China's east. Reports suggest that the workers are paid, but have no choice about going to the factories. These videos are posted on social media by Uyghurs who are not happy to be bused to factories far from home.
Another problem is the Uyghur Forced Labor Protection Act could contribute to the inflation that's now running rampant. Because to move manufacturing out of China, where government subsidies undercut our domestic manufacturing, inevitably means higher prices here. But that may be a small price to pay if it frees the Uyghurs from the yoke of forced labor. Doug McKelway for the Washington Examiner.